One of the most painful experience I've ever had in my life was when I got ulcer. Like the pain was out of the world. I couldn't stand, I couldn't sit, I couldn't sleep. When people talk of ulcer, then before I had the experience, I often feel like maybe it's because it's very common. Yeah, ulcer, ulcer, ulcer. But when I had the first hand experience, I knew this is if not one of the most painful experience you can have. It's something you don't pay to have. And the reason why it's very painful is that I believe we all know acid. I know how acid is. No one wants acid to be poured on them, right? Aha. Our gastrointestinal tract, our stomach precisely, produces acidic enzyme to break down our food. So whenever you eat any food, whatever you take in, your stomach acidic enzyme breaks down the food, and this helps for proper digestion and metabolism. But in case of patients having ulcer, what really happens is that there is a mucous lining in the stomach, in the duodenum, that's in the small intestine, and also in the esophagus. So there's a mucous lining that protects these fragile organs, because acid is very harsh. So God Almighty, in His infinite knowledge, He covers the esophagus and the stomach and the small intestine with a lining, with a mucous membrane. So when your stomach produces acidic enzyme to break down the food, the acidic enzyme would not have direct contact with the stomach or with the esophagus or with the small intestine. It will be on the mucous membrane. So for patients having ulcer, it means that a part of the mucous membrane have been exposed. And as it becomes exposed, the acidic enzyme is having direct contact with either the stomach or the esophagus or the small intestine. So imagine acid touching a very fragile part like that. Just like you having a wound and someone pours acid on the wound, you can imagine how painful it will be. So this is what makes ulcer very painful. This is what makes the experience. In fact, I had a patient like maybe 7-8 years ago. The patient was telling me some symptoms that are very scary. The patient said she often have bad dreams. She often have cold feet. She often have pains all over her body. We are even thinking it was spiritual issue. At the end of the day, we got to know it was just ulcer. Like, she was even having bad dream. She was having bad dream because of ulcer. And it can get to that stage. I'm talking of acid in a very fragile, part of the body like that. So, but do you know how I addressed my condition? When I had the ulcer, then it was close to 10 years. I went to the hospital. I was always bedridden. Every week, I always visit the hospital. I use Jelcol like I take water. Then I use a very simple regimen, just plantain, like unripe plantain. That was what I used then. So I got plantain, like six unripe plantain. I dice it into pieces, including the cover. So I cut it into pieces and I soak it with water. Then after like 4 days of fermenting, I sieved out the water, and I take a teacup in the morning and in the night. So I was consistent with this for like 3 weeks, and ever since then, my ulcer becomes a story. This is me. This is my own personal experience. I'm not talking about someone else. This was my own experience, and I felt there are so many people going through this very devastating and very painful experience, and I want you to benefit from this. Though, let me add this to it. Because of individual differences, because of other lifestyle, lifestyle factor, the way I live my life is not the way you live your life. The way medication will react on me is not the same way to react on you, due to our differences in lifestyle choices. So what works for me best might not be your own best choice. So someone should not come and tell, but I've used plantain and it does not do the magic. Yes, because of your lifestyle might not be supportive of the medication. So there are so many other plans that can be used to, effectively address this. But that's what I have for you today. Thanks so much, the Criterion Cares.